Hello, Internet, and welcome to my live reaction for Fire Force Chapter 266. When we last left our heroes, Arthur and Dragon continued their ultimate battle, with Arthur getting some pretty good hits in on Dragon. Dragon also got good hits on Arthur, and also, raised up a new volcano at one point, because that's a thing he can do. We've got a little bit of context for Arthur's teleportation magic that we saw in the lead up to killing Giovanni. How he actually turns himself into lightning to do that, which is very cool. And then also, he got some real cool attack on Dragon that, split the clouds. And that's sort of where we left off last time. So we open with Great Dragon versus Arthur, Violet Flash. Excuse me. It's an all-out match and the world's on the line. Who will come out on top? Chapter 266, The Free-For-All. And we got our scan later page. And so we open where we left off with Dragon just sort of floating in the center of this ring of clouds created by Arthur's attack. Arthur lands a brutal cut on Dragon, but the fight's not over yet. And we see, Dragon is bleeding. Is that... Because there's this big black splotch down his chest right around here. And I think that's... Is that all blood? Let me see, looking at the last page of last chapter, he wasn't bleeding there on the last page of last chapter, but it might have just happened. Like a kind of delayed effect thing. Either way, Dragon says, "Not half bad, but I'm just getting warmed up. How about you?" And Arthur looks at him with just a, And Dragon just continues, "Gah-ha-ha-ha! And here I thought I'd seen everything. What a delight!" And so there's kind of been mention made, I think I brought this up last time, that Dragon's despair is so strong that he's almost like, his despair is one of the main forces behind the Cataclysm. But we see here, he's delighted. So I'm curious if that's going to kind of counter the despair. But either way, Arthur sort of looks down at him, and Dragon just flexes, I think, and tears off what remains of his robe thing. And I think actual black scales are forming. Yeah, and it covers we can only really see, we see his entire body actually. It covers kind of everything except his nose down to around his this area. I don't want to say his breast because that's going to get some wrong impressions, but that's that area. And then I think it fully covers him. He's fully covered in these black scales. And his head looks a lot more reptilian, the way the scales are kind of covering him. And he kind of lunges at Arthur. I think this is kind of his true strength, his final form, so to speak. And he hits Arthur. Arthur kind of tries to block it, but he's sent flying. And Arthur, there's this moment we see some blood fly out of his nose, and Dragon, I think, shoots something towards him, some kind of projectile. And as Arthur kind of is hit by it, Dragon then kind of zooms over towards Arthur again. Arthur tries to hit him with his sword, and Dragon meets it head on with his fist. And just throws Arthur down to the ground. That is, that hit did nothing to Dragon. And Arthur, I think he's thrown with so much force that he hits the clouds and bounces off of the clouds. I know there's this, part of there's some physics thing where if you hit water from a certain height, it hits, concrete. And I know clouds are made of water, so maybe that's the sort of phenomenon happening here. But yeah, Arthur is not in a good shape after that. Dragon's coming for a follow-up attack, and Arthur grips his sword and tries to use it with the sword beam ability he's got. But Dragon, I think, just kind of deflects it. It's coming towards Dragon, and Dragon just swipes it out of the way. Again, not a good point for Arthur here. And then I think Dragon hits the cloud, and somehow Arthur was kind of pulled towards him. And Dragon just keeps going on the attack. Arthur is getting more and more beat up. He can't really do anything to Dragon at this point. He's got to find some kind of new ability, or else he's going to lose. And Dragon taunts him, "What's wrong, Night King?" And then he brings his fist down again. Arthur tries to push it up. He's not as hurt now as he was from previous attacks. "Don't go disappointing me." And then Arthur kind of readies his blade. "Excalibur is just getting warmed up too." And he slices Dragon that time. Maybe he actually does a little bit of damage there. We see, like, the gash kind of steams, but Dragon doesn't seem too much the worse for wear. And Dragon tells him, "Good, that's the spirit." And Dragon sort of does another slice. Arthur jumps to avoid it, goes to bring the sword down, and then, I think before he can, Dragon, like, gut punches him, sends him flying up towards the moon. Okay, I'm not sure that's very good. And Arthur, like, holds on for dear life and brings his sword down while Dragon is, like, flying into space. Brings the sword into Dragon's back. And Dragon seems to feel the pain there. We don't see any, like, blood or anything, but he lets out a "Gah!" As they fly. And he just keeps on stabbing him as Dragon continues to push him up. And Dragon taunts him, "That won't be enough to stop me." And Arthur presses, "Let me go. Where are you taking me?" And then Arthur looks behind him in shock. "To space." Okay. The battle that rages for the fate of the world spills into the heavens. The planet is too small for the battle between them. Next issue, the battle between Dragon and Knight gets a stunning lead color page. To be continued in chapter 267, Space Knight. Okay, I somehow have almost less to say about this than I did last time. Last time I could still kind of go on for a while about, subtle storytelling with the teleportation magic thing, but this is just action. And it is cool as fuck. This chapter is epic. There's really no other word for that. I haven't really used epic as a descriptor since, like, 2011, but there is no word for this but epic. It is huge. It is, as that little blurb tells us at the end, the planet is too small for the battle between them. That's just cool. And so what I'm kind of wondering, though, is that we know that Dragon can breathe in space somehow, because he did that after Maki sort of blasted him to space with Charon's last attack. But can Arthur? I mean, maybe with Adola, again, the rules are all kind of made up at this point. And maybe if Arthur believes he can breathe in space, he'll be able to breathe in space, because that's very much how Adola works. But I don't know. Anyway, this chapter is just cool. There is almost nothing to say about it. It's just cool as fuck. God. I mean, there are many reasons I want Fire Force to get Season 3. But honestly, this is the biggest reason I want Fire Force to get Season 3. It's just such a cool fight. Even if honestly this fight might be late enough into the manga to be like Season 4, I just want this to get animated. I want this to be animated in all of the glory David Production gave the first 2 seasons of Fire Force. I want to see this. I want to see this in motion. I want to see it in color. I just want to experience it. And that's kind of all I gotta say. There's really not a lot to say here beyond it's cool as fuck. So it's cool as fuck. The part of my body that's still, the part of my mind is like a 10-year-old boy is just like cheering with every fucking page here. It's epic. It's fucking cool. Holy shit. That's all I got. I'm gonna leave this video off here. Hope you all enjoyed the chapter and the video itself. If you did, feel free to drop me a like or subscribe or, do whatever makes you happy, And remember, your life is your own, okay? Bye!